The unexpected challenge. The towering spires of Galactic University pierce the violet sky of Centauri Prime, their gleaming surfaces reflecting the light of twin suns. Zara Stevens hurried across the sprawling campus, her heart pounding with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. It was her final year at the most prestigious institution in the known universe, and she couldn't afford to be late for advanced xenobiology. As she entered the cavernous lecture hall, Zara's eyes were drawn to the imposing figure at the front of the room. Professor Xylith stood nearly 8 feet tall, his iridescent scales shimmering as he manipulated a holographic display with his 4 arms. The Korean scientist was renowned throughout the galaxy for his brilliant mind and unorthodox teaching methods. Zara slipped into an empty seat, trying to calm her racing thoughts. Despite her natural aptitude for science, she had been struggling in this course. The complex alien physiologies and biochemistries they studied pushed the limits of her understanding. And now, with the final exam looming, she feared she might not pass. Professor Xylith's resonant voice filled the hall as he began the lecture. Today, we will discuss the fascinating adaptations of the Dorexian cave dwellers, he said, his multifaceted eyes scanning the room. But first, an important announcement regarding your final examination. A hush fell over the students as they leaned forward in anticipation. Zara held her breath, her fingers gripping the edge of her desk. Your final exam, Professor Xylith continued, will not be a traditional test of knowledge. Instead, you will be required to complete an ancient alien trial known as the Gauntlet of Axiom. Gasps and murmurs of confusion rippled through the crowd. Zara's mind reeled. An alien trial. What did that have to do with xenobiology? The professor raised 2 of his hands for silence. The Gauntlet of Axiom is a series of challenges designed to test not just your understanding of alien life, but your ability to adapt and thrive in hostile environments. It will push you to your limits, both physically and mentally. Zara's stomach churned with a mixture of fear and excitement. This was unlike anything she had ever encountered in her academic career. Those who successfully complete the gauntlet, Professor Xylith went on, his voice taking on a reverent tone, will not only pass this course, but will gain insights into the very nature of life itself. As the professor delved into the details of the trial, Zara's mind raced. The gauntlet would take place on a distant moon, in a facility created by an ancient and long-extinct alien race. Participants would face a series of increasingly difficult challenges, each designed to test different aspects of their knowledge and abilities. You have 1 standard month to prepare, Professor Xylith concluded. I suggest you use this time wisely. Dismissed. As the other students filed out of the lecture hall, buzzing with a mixture of excitement and apprehension, Zara remained rooted to her seat. How could she possibly prepare for something like this? Her confidence, already shaken by her recent struggles, now threatened to crumble entirely. Miss Stevens, Professor Xylith's gravelly voice startled her out of her reverie. A moment of your time, please. Zara approached the towering alien, trying to keep her voice steady. Yes, Professor. His multifaceted eyes studied her intently. I sense your doubt, young human. You fear you are not up to this challenge. She swallowed hard, fighting the urge to look away. I'm not sure I am, sir. I've been having trouble keeping up with the course material as it is. How can I possibly hope to survive an alien trial? To her surprise, Professor Xylith's mandibles curved in what she recognized as a Korean smile. That, Miss Stevens, is precisely why I believe you may excel in this trial. Confusion must have shown on her face, for the professor continued, You humans are a fascinating species. So young in the galactic community, yet possessing a remarkable ability to adapt and overcome. Your very doubts may be your greatest strength. Zara's brow furrowed. I don't understand, sir. The Gauntlet of Axiom is not merely a test of knowledge, Professor Xylith explained. It is a crucible that reveals the true nature of those who attempt it. Your species' capacity for creative problem-solving and your tenacity in the face of adversity make you uniquely suited for such a challenge. His words kindled a small spark of hope within Zara. Could it be that her human nature, which she had often felt was a disadvantage among the advanced alien races at the university, might actually be an asset? But make no mistake, the professor warned, his tone growing serious. The gauntlet is dangerous. It will test you in ways you cannot imagine. You must be prepared to face your deepest fears and push beyond your perceived limitations. Zara straightened her spine, a newfound determination filling her. I understand, Professor. I'll do my best to prepare. As she turned to leave, Professor Xilif called out once more. One last thing, Miss Stevens. The gauntlet often reveals truths beyond mere academic knowledge. Be prepared for revelations that may change your understanding of the universe and yourself. With those cryptic words echoing in her mind, Zara left the lecture hall. The enormity of the challenge before her was daunting, but for the first time in months, she felt a glimmer of excitement. This was her chance to prove herself, not just to her alien peers and professors, but to herself as well. As she walked across the campus, the alien suns warming her face, Zara's mind buzzed with questions and possibilities. What kind of challenges would she face in the gauntlet? How could she possibly prepare for the unknown? And what hidden truths might she uncover about herself and the universe? One thing was certain, the next month would be the most intense and transformative of her life. Zara quickened her pace, eager to begin her preparations. Little did she know that the gauntlet of action would test her in ways she could never have imagined, and that her journey would have consequences far beyond passing a single exam. The fate of not just her academic career, but potentially the entire human race, hung in the balance. And it all began with an alien professor's unexpected requirement: preparation and discovery. The Galactic University Library buzzed with an electric tension as students from 100 different species pored over ancient texts and holographic displays. Zara sat at a secluded terminal, her eyes burning from hours of research into the mysterious gauntlet of acing. The more she learned, the more her stomach twisted with a mixture of fear and exhilaration. Pissed Earthling. A melodious whisper caught her attention. Zara turned to see Lyrics, a celestial from the Andromeda galaxy, hovering nearby. The bioluminescent being's tendrils pulsed with curiosity. You look like you're about to implode. Need a study buddy? Zara hesitated. Celestials were known for their vast knowledge, but also for their enigmatic nature. Still, she could use all the help she could get. Sure, why not? I'm Zara. Lyric's body shimmered with delight. Excellent. I've always wanted to work with a human. Your species is quite the talk of the galactic community, you know. As they delved deeper into the laws surrounding the gauntlet, Zara found herself warming to the quirky alien. Lyric's insights were invaluable, offering perspectives she never would have considered. The Axiom weren't just master builders, Lyrics explained, projecting a holographic image of an impossibly complex structure. They were reality architects. The gauntlet isn't just a physical trial, it's a test of perception itself. Zara's mind reeled. How do you prepare for something like that? Lyric's tendrils formed a pattern that Zara interpreted as a shrug. That's the cosmic joke, isn't it? You can't really. But that's where your human unpredictability comes in handy. As the days passed, Zara threw herself into preparation. She studied alien physiologies, practiced extreme environmental simulations, and even took up meditation to sharpen her mind. But a nagging doubt persisted. Was she really cut out for this? One evening, as she was leaving the library, she quite literally ran into Professor Xilif. The impact sent her sprawling datapads scattering across the floor. Miss Stevens, the professor's multifaceted eyes gleamed with an unreadable emotion. Your dedication is admirable, but you seem troubled. Zara sighed as she gathered her belongings. I can't shake the feeling that there's more to this gauntlet than you're telling us, Professor. Xilif's mandibles clicked thoughtfully. Perceptive. Come with me. He led her to his private office, a room filled with swirling holograms and artifacts from across the cosmos. With a wave of his hand, the professor activated a hidden panel, revealing a shimmering object that defied description. This, Phyllis said reverently, is a fragment of axiom technology. It's the key to understanding their true legacy and the real purpose of the gauntlet. Zara's eyes widened, which is, to find the next evolution of sentient life in the galaxy. Silet's voice dropped to a whisper. The axiom believed that true advancement comes not from technology, but from the ability to transcend the limitations of one's own species. The gauntlet is designed to identify those with potential. A chill ran down Zara's spine. Potential for what? The professor's gaze bore into her. To reshape reality itself, to become something more. Zara's mind raced. This wasn't just about passing an exam, it was about the future of evolution in the galaxy. And somehow, improbably, humanity was in the running. "Why tell me this?" she asked, her voice trembling. Silet's expression softened. "Because, Miss Stevens, I believe you have a unique gift. Your human capacity for adaptation, combined with your individual spark of creativity, makes you a prime candidate. But the choice to pursue this path must be yours." As Zara left the office, her head spinning with revelations, she realized that her preparation had taken on a whole new meaning. This wasn't just about proving herself, it was about exploring the very limits of human potential. With renewed determination, she threw herself into training. Lurix proved an invaluable ally, pushing her to think beyond conventional boundaries. They spent hours in virtual simulations, tackling mind-bending puzzles and facing terrifying alien environments. But it wasn't all academic. Zara knew that the gauntlet would test her physically as well. She joined a mixed-species combat class, learning to defend herself against opponents with vastly different physiologies. The bruises and aches were a constant reminder of the challenges that lay ahead. As the day of the gauntlet drew near, Zara found herself in the university's holographic chamber, facing a simulation of an axiom puzzle. The swirling, multidimensional construct before her seemed to defy the laws of physics. "Come on, Earthling," Lurix cheered from the sidelines. "Think outside the tesseract." Zara took a deep breath, clearing her mind of preconceptions. She reached out, not with her hand, but with her mind, willing the puzzle to reveal its secrets. To her amazement, the construct began to shift, responding to her thoughts. "By the cosmic winds," Lurix gasped, "you're doing it." As the puzzle resolved itself, Zara felt a surge of something indescribable, a connection to the universe itself. For a brief moment, she glimpsed the underlying fabric of reality, malleable and full of infinite possibility. The simulation ended, leaving Zara breathless and exhilarated. She turned to find Professor Xylith watching from the shadows, a look of satisfaction on his alien features. "You're ready," he said simply. The night before departing for the gauntlet, Zara stood on the roof of her dormitory, gazing up at the star-filled sky. The twin moons of Centaur Prime cast an ethereal glow over the campus. "Nervous?" Lurix materialized beside her, tendrils glowing softly in the darkness. Zara nodded, terrified, excited. "I feel like I'm standing on the edge of something enormous, and I have no idea if I'll fly or fall." Lurix's body pulsed with warm colors. "That's the beauty of it, isn't it? The unknown. It's what drives us all to explore, to push boundaries. It's what makes life in this vast universe worth living." As they stood there, an unlikely pair of friends on the brink of a cosmic adventure, Zara felt a swell of gratitude. Whatever challenges the gauntlet held, she wouldn't face them alone. The next morning, as she boarded the sleek spacecraft that would take her to the trial site, Zara carried with her not just knowledge and training, but the support of her alien friends and the weight of human potential. The gauntlet of action awaited, promising danger, revelation, and the chance to redefine the very nature of what it meant to be human in a universe of infinite wonders. Little did Zara know that her journey would not only test her limits, but also uncover ancient secrets that would shake the foundations of galactic society. The true nature of the acing's legacy and humanity's role in it was far more complex and perilous than anyone had imagined. As the ship lifted off, carrying Zara and her fellow contestants into the unknown, the fate of entire civilizations hung in the balance. The gauntlet was more than a test. It was the key to unlocking the next stage of cosmic evolution. And Zara Stevens, a young human from Earth, might just be the one to turn that key. The trial begins. The shuttle descended through swirling clouds of iridescent gas, revealing a desolate moonscape unlike anything Zara had ever seen. Jagged spires of crystalline rock pierced the violet sky, while pools of liquid mercury reflected the eerie glow of a distant pulsar. "Welcome to Nexus Prime," Professor Xylit's holographic image flickered before the assembled contestants. The Axiom chose its world for its unique properties. Reality itself is more malleable here. Be warned, nothing is quite as it seems. As Zara stepped onto the alien surface, a shiver ran through her body. The air felt charged, almost alive with possibility. Around her, her fellow contestants, a diverse array of beings from across the galaxy, surveyed their surroundings with a mixture of awe and trepidation. Contestants approached the quantum gate. Xylit's voice echoed across the barren landscape. Before them stood a massive arch of swirling energy, its surface rippling like the event horizon of a black hole. Glyphs of an unknown language pulsed along its frame, seeming to shift and change even as Zara tried to focus on them. The first challenge awaits. May the cosmos favor the bold. With a deep breath, Zara stepped through the gate. The world around her dissolved into a kaleidoscope of light and sensation. When reality reasserted itself, she found herself in a vast chamber that defied Euclidean geometry. Impossible angles and shifting perspectives made her head spin. "Welcome, Zara Stevens of Earth," a voice resonated in her mind. "Your trial begins now. Navigate the labyrinth of perception and reach the cosmic keystone. But beware, your senses cannot be trusted here." Zara took a tentative step forward, only to find the floor beneath her feet transforming into a liquid that somehow supported her weight. The walls pulsed with fractal patterns that seemed to reach out and pull at her consciousness. "Focus," she muttered to herself, remembering her training. "Reality is mutable here. My perception shapes it." As if in response to her thoughts, a pathway of solid light materialized before her. Zara began to move, her mind racing to process the ever-changing environment. Gravity shifted unpredictably, forcing her to adapt her movements with each step. Suddenly, a piercing shriek filled the air. A creature of pure energy, all tentacles and pulsing light, materialized in her path. Zara's heart raced, but she forced herself to remain calm. "It's not real," she reasoned, or "it's only as real as I allow it to be." Focusing her will, Zara imagined the creature as nothing more than a harmless illusion. To her amazement, it shimmered and faded, allowing her to pass unharmed. As she progressed deeper into the labyrinth, the challenges grew more complex. Riddles written in quantum fluctuations, puzzles that required manipulating the fabric of space-time itself, and obstacles that could only be overcome by embracing paradox. Zara's human intuition, so often a disadvantage in her studies of advanced alien sciences, now proved to be her greatest asset. Where others might approach problems with rigid logic, she allowed her mind to flow with the chaos around her, finding creative solutions that defied conventional thinking. Hours passed, or perhaps days. Time had little meaning in this realm of shifting realities. Zara's body ached and her mind felt stretched to its limits, but a fire of determination burned within her. Finally, she reached a vast chamber at the heart of the labyrinth. Floating in the center was a pulsing crystal of impossible geometry, the cosmic keystone. But between her and her goal stood a figure that made her breath catch in her throat. It was herself. "Greetings, Zara Stevens," her doppelganger spoke, its voice a perfect mimic of her own. To claim the keystone, you must defeat yourself. All your doubts, your fears, your limitations, they stand before you now. Zora's mind raced. How could she possibly overcome herself? Every strength she possessed, this copy would share. Every weakness, it would exploit. Then, a memory surfaced. Professor Xylis' words about the true nature of the gauntlet. This wasn't just about overcoming obstacles. It was about transcending the very concept of limitation. I don't need to defeat you, Zara said, her voice steady. You're not my enemy. You're a part of me. My doubts, my fears, yes, but also my strength, my potential. I accept you, all of you. She stepped forward, arms outstretched. Her duplicate's eyes widened in surprise, then understanding. As Zara embraced her other self, she felt a surge of energy coursing through her. The two forms merged, and suddenly Zara felt more complete, more real than she ever had before. The cosmic keystone pulsed, responding to her transformed consciousness. As her fingers touched its surface, visions flooded her mind, glimpses of realities beyond imagination, the underlying code of the universe itself. In that moment, Zara understood. The gauntlet wasn't just a test, it was a key to unlocking humanity's true potential, and she had just taken the first step towards something greater than she could have ever imagined. As the chamber faded around her, signaling the end of the first trial, Zara knew that her journey was far from over. The true challenges and the true wonders still lay ahead. Unbeknownst to her, across the galaxy, ancient systems were stirring to life. The Axiom's long-dormant plans were being set in motion, and Zara's success had sent ripples through the very fabric of cosmic society. In the shadows of forgotten worlds, other forces watched with growing interest. The humans' unexpected aptitude for manipulating reality had not gone unnoticed. Some saw hope for a new age of enlightenment, while others sensed a threat to the established order of the cosmos. As Zara prepared for the next phase of the gauntlet, the fate of entire civilizations hung in the balance. The true nature of the Axiom's legacy and humanity's role in it was about to be revealed, with consequences that would reshape the very foundations of the universe itself. Pushing the limits, Zara emerged from the quantum gate, her mind reeling from the experience of the first trial. The alien landscape of Nexus Prime seemed almost mundane compared to the reality-bending challenges she had just faced. As she caught her breath, she noticed other contestants materializing around her, each bearing the haunted look of those who had glimpsed the impossible. Congratulations on surviving the first trial, Professor Xylis' hologram flickered to life before them. But do not let your guard down. The gauntlet has only begun to test your limits. As if on cue, the ground beneath their feet began to shift. The crystalline spires surrounding them groaned and twisted, reshaping the terrain into a treacherous obstacle course that seemed to defy the laws of physics. Your next challenge, Xylis continued, his multifaceted eyes gleaming, is the crucible of elements. You must navigate this ever-changing landscape and reach the Nexus core. But be warned, the very essence of creation will be your adversary. With a crackle of energy, the hologram vanished, leaving the contestants to face the daunting task ahead. Zara took a deep breath, centering herself as she had learned in her preparation. The cosmic keystone's energy still hummed within her, a constant reminder of the potential she had only begun to unlock. As she took her first steps into the crucible, the world around her erupted into chaos. Pillars of fire burst from the ground, while torrents of water materialized from thin air. Chunks of earth defied gravity, floating in complex patterns that shifted unpredictably. And through it all, howling winds threatened to tear her from her feet. Zora's mind raced, drawing on everything she had learned. She realized that this wasn't just a test of physical endurance, it was a challenge to her very understanding of reality. The elements themselves were responding to the collective consciousness of the contestants, creating a feedback loop of increasing difficulty. "We're making it worse," she shouted to a nearby Venusian contestant, his silicon-based form already showing signs of stress. "The more we struggle against it, the more chaotic it becomes. The Venusian's crystalline eyes widened in understanding. Then how do we proceed? Zora's gaze swept across the maelstrom of elements. We need to work together, to harmonize with the chaos instead of fighting it. Word spread quickly among the contestants. Those who had seen each other as rivals now realized that cooperation was their only hope of survival. Zora found herself at the center of an impromptu alliance, her human adaptability bridging the gaps between wildly different species. Together, they began to move through the crucible, their movements becoming a complex dance of mutual support. A Neptunian's natural affinity for water helped them navigate raging rivers. An Ignisian's flame-resistant body cleared paths through walls of fire. Zora's quick thinking and creativity found solutions to puzzles that stymied even the most logical minds. But as they progressed, the challenges grew ever more demanding. The very fabric of reality seemed to fray at the edges, forcing them to question everything they thought they knew about the nature of existence. During a rare moment of respite, sheltered in the eye of an elemental storm, Zora found herself face to face with Crix, a hive-mind entity she had befriended during their journey. "You've surprised us all, human." Crix's multiple voices resonated in perfect harmony. "Your species is so young, yet you possess a unique ability to adapt and innovate. We begin to understand why the Axiom took such interest in your kind." Zora's brow furrowed. "What do you mean? What interest?" But before Crix could respond, the ground beneath them shuddered violently. A massive chasm opened up, separating Zora from the rest of the group. As she teetered on the edge, she caught a glimpse of something impossible below, a swirling vortex of pure possibility, the raw stuff of creation itself. "Zora," Crix called out, their composite form stretching across the gap. "You must make a choice. Jump into the unknown or stay with what is safe and familiar. But remember, the gauntlet demands growth, not comfort." Time seemed to slow as Zora stood on the precipice of decision. Everything she had learned, everything she had become, had led her to this moment. With a deep breath and a silent prayer to the cosmos, she leaped. As she fell into the vortex of creation, Zara felt her consciousness expanding beyond the confines of her physical form. She became aware of realities layered upon realities, timelines branching and converging in infinite complexity. And through it all, she sensed a greater purpose, the Axiom's true legacy, waiting to be unlocked. When she emerged on the other side, Zara found herself transformed. Her body crackled with cosmic energy, her mind opened to new dimensions of thought. She had become something more than human, yet still fundamentally herself. The Nexus core loomed before her, a structure of impossible geometry that pulsed with the heartbeat of the universe. As she approached, she realized that she was the first to reach this point. Whatever came next, she would face it alone. But unbeknownst to Zara, her journey through the crucible had set off a chain reaction across the galaxy. Ancient Axiom outposts, dormant for eons, began to awaken. Cosmic powers that had long watched humanity from afar now turned their full attention to this unexpected development. And deep within the hidden recesses of Galactic University, Professor Xelith received a transmission that made his alien blood run cold. The message was clear. Zara Stevens had exceeded all expectations, and the final phase of the Axiom's grand design was about to begin. As Zara stood before the Nexus core, poised to unlock secrets beyond imagination, the fate of not just humanity, but all sentient life in the cosmos, hung in the balance. The true purpose of the Gauntlet of Axton was about to be revealed, and nothing would ever be the same again. Triumph of the human spirit. The Nexus core pulsed with an otherworldly energy, its crystalline structure shifting and realigning as Zara approached. She could feel the weight of countless civilizations' hopes and fears pressing down upon her, the culmination of the Axiom's grand design within her reach. As she stretched out her hand towards the core, a familiar voice echoed through the chamber. "Stop." Zara whirled around to see Professor Xelith materializing before her, his form flickering between solidity and energy. "Professor, what are you doing here?" Kyleth's multifaceted eyes gleamed with a mixture of pride and concern. You've come further than any being has in millennia, Zara, but you cannot comprehend the true nature of what you're about to unleash. What do you mean? Zara asked, her newly expanded consciousness buzzing with possibilities. Isn't this the purpose of the gauntlet? To find those worthy of the Axiom's legacy? The professor's mandibles clicked in agitation. Yes, but the legacy is far more complex and dangerous than you realize. The Axiom were not just master builders, they were the architects of reality itself, and their final project, it could reshape the very fabric of the cosmos. Suddenly, the chamber around them began to shift. Holographic displays sprang to life, showing scenes from across the galaxy. Ancient axiom structures were awakening, drawing power from stars and bending space-time itself. By reaching this point, Sci-Fi explained, his voice tinged with awe and fear, you've triggered a chain reaction. The Axiom's network is reactivating, preparing to implement their final protocol, the cosmic reboot. Zara's mind reeled at the implications. A reboot? Of what? Of everything, Silas said grimly. The Axiom believed that the universe had become too chaotic, too unpredictable. They designed this system to reset reality itself, reshaping it according to their vision of perfect order. The weight of this revelation hit Zara like a supernova. But that would mean the end of free will, Silas finished. The erasure of countless civilizations' unique developments. A universe of perfect order, but devoid of the beautiful chaos that drives innovation and growth. Zara's fists clenched at her sides. We can't let that happen. There has to be a way to stop it. Philip's form flickered again, growing more translucent. That's why I'm here. The system requires a final key, a consciousness capable of interfacing with the core. It was meant to be an axiom, but they're long gone. You, Zara, with your newly expanded awareness, are the only being capable of taking that role. So I have to interface with the core to shut it down, Zara asked, hope rising in her chest. The professor's expression grew grave. It's not that simple. Once connected, you'll face the full force of the Axiom's programming. The temptation to reshape reality will be overwhelming. And even if you resist, the strain could tear your consciousness apart. Zara took a deep breath, centering herself. Everything she had experienced, her struggles at the university, the friendships forged in the crucible of the gauntlet, the glimpses of cosmic wonders, had led her to this moment. I have to try, she said, her voice steady with resolve. Not just for humanity, but for every species that deserves the right to forge its own destiny. Selith nodded solemnly. Then go, Zara Stevens of Earth. The fate of the cosmos rests in your hands. As Zara turned back to the Nexus core, she felt a swell of emotions from across the galaxy. Somehow, through the awakened Axiom network, every sentient being was becoming aware of the pivotal moment at hand. She could sense their fear, their hope, their silent support. With a final breath, Zara plunged her consciousness into the core. Instantly, her mind was assaulted by visions of unimaginable power. She saw the universe as the Axiom had, a grand equation to be solved, a system to be optimized. The temptation to reshape reality according to her will was intoxicating. But as the Axiom's programming tried to overwhelm her, Zara drew upon something uniquely human, the power of choice. She thought of the friends she had made, the wonders she had witnessed, the beauty that arose from imperfection and randomness. With every fiber of her expanded consciousness, Zara fought against the Axiom's vision of perfect order. Instead, she poured her own experiences, her own understanding of the cosmos, into the system. The Nexus core shuddered, caught between two competing visions of reality. Zara felt her mind stretching to its limits, threatening to tear apart under the strain. But she persevered, drawing strength from the collective will of countless beings across the galaxy. In a blinding flash of energy, the core pulsed one final time. The Axiom network shuddered, its programming rewritten not with perfect order, but with the beautiful chaos of life itself. Zara found herself back in her physical form, collapsed on the floor of the chamber. As she struggled to her feet, she saw the holographic displays coming back to life. But instead of scenes of reality being rewritten, she witnessed something extraordinary. The awakened Axim structures were not reshaping the cosmos, they were opening gateways. Portals between distant star systems blinked into existence, allowing instantaneous travel across the galaxy. The Axim's technology, guided by Zara's human touch, had become a gift of connection rather than a tool of control. Professor Xylith materialized beside her, his form now solid and real. "You've done it, Zara. You've reshaped the Axim's legacy into something beautiful." As the full impact of what she had accomplished washed over her, Zara felt a swell of emotions, exhaustion, pride, and a deep sense of responsibility for the new era she had ushered in. The gauntlet of action was over, but humanity's true trial was just beginning. With the galaxy now interconnected as never before, Earth would take its place among the cosmic community. And Zara Stevens, once a struggling student, now stood as a bridge between worlds, a testament to the limitless potential of the human spirit. As she prepared to return home, Zara knew that the greatest adventures, for herself and for all of humanity, was still to come. The cosmos awaited, full of wonders to explore and new friendships to forge among the stars. The Axim's legacy had been transformed, and the future of the galaxy now burned bright with the fire of human determination and the infinite possibilities born from the beautiful chaos of free will.